Hey guys, welcome back to the Lift Culture. This is Mo, and this video is going to be on intent. And by intent, I mean what I want this YouTube channel to be about. So if somebody was to ask someone, hey, Lift Culture, what's it about? If I was to sum it up into a couple sentences, it would be a channel giving out information on aspects of life, lifting, fitness, daily day-to-day activities, consciousness. So you have all these major big subjects, and just giving out information to lift people up, lifting them up into better people, better athletes, better employees. So my goal is personally to give out information that I've learned from different mediums, from different people, from different schools of thought, and putting it into one channel. So creating a sort of hub of all these related topics. So recently, as many of you might have known, I've been injured for the last 2 years. I mean, it's not an injury which is disabilitating. It's an injury where it's kind of nagging. So I mean, I've had, starting from an ACL surgery back in high school, which kind of took me into this route of fitness and bodybuilding, and detached me from the whole football / athletic side of it. So as soon as I got injured, I mean, I had to get surgery and ACL reconstruction, which at the time I didn't know, but it severely disabilitated my body structure / the way I perform, like my daily functions. So for example, sitting down, I would overcompensate my left leg instead of my right leg, which was injured. So putting an excess stress on a certain part of the body and watching it over time compensate and get stuck in that certain position, which after I resumed lifting upon having surgery, it severely it made me realize how much weaker I was in certain areas, but I didn't know that caused the majority of the problem. So let's fast forward to the last year, or last year, 2 years. I had another injury. It was a quadratus lumborum of the left side, which is a deep muscle in your lower back. Travels, I would say, excuse my anatomy here, it's been a while. I would say travels all the way up to your thoracic. So basically, when I had that injury, it was after deadlifts, and it was a funny story. Me and my buddy Wally Khan, shout out to Wally Khan, follow him on Instagram. Me and him were workout partners for the last, I'd say, 2 years, and we just took stuff to the next level. I mean, intensity was through the roof. So we would do, there was a program people might be familiar with, called Dog Crap, and it utilized the whole principle of intensity and pushing that last set to utmost failure. So it would be called a Widowmaker set, and I remember our deadlifts being really, really strong. It was one of our strongest lifts, and we would do reps on, I think I was at 4 or 5 plates, just reps of insane amount of reps. So anyways, leading up to my story, I injured my quadratus lumborum, which led to me not being able to lift for, I'd say, a good 6 or 7 months. And by lifting, I mean actually having or knowing the center of your body and being able to contract everything simultaneously, and knowing that you're pain-free and you're in a good position. So everything, you're in kind of a flow state of your body. So I didn't feel that for maybe a year after that injury. anyways, I started seeing a chiropractor named Dr. Chad, who I would have to say changed my life. So while I was learning stuff from him, it was almost like I was going to school. So I would take this knowledge from a doctor, and which could relate to a professor at school, and he would tell me this information, and then I would go home and research it, almost not even knowing, like, this whole process of learning I was integrating without even actually actualizing the thought of what I was doing. So I would go home, look up articles on mobility, looking up articles on people who've been injured and like they're trying to train again, and looking at just people who've had catastrophic injuries and they resumed lifting again. So I stumbled across a name called Kelly Starrett, which I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with, and I stumbled across him from Alberto Nunez's site, and I recall Alberto posting up some certain stuff on mobility and certain kind of stretches. So this whole idea just like kind of revolutionized my way of thinking and moving and doing like daily activities. So this was the time I'd say I met David Schroer, who's now a business partner and great friend. We connected because we were just basically doing like the same kind of stretch in like a different way. So it was basically using an elastic band to create a distraction on a joint, which would be hard to do unless you're at a clinic of a personal physical therapist, or you're seeing somebody highly educated in that sort of manual technique, which my buddy Sal was a great advocate of, not to mention. So we connected off of that, and then one thing led to another, and we're basically doing so we're known as like the mobility junkies or stretching partners or stretchaholics or whatever you want to call it at this gym, which I'm at right now in Darien Export. So lo and behold, it was watching the idea of doing something for a long time, watching people make fun of you. I remember people just like totally like, looking at us laughing, and then I remember like one time this guy approached me and he's like, what are you doing here? And I basically kind of summed up like the idea I had, or idea of the stuff I was going through, the stuff that I've like seen in society. So for example, somebody who's sitting a lot is bound to have short hip flexors because their body is naturally in that sitting position. So if your hip flexors are always shortened, meaning you're sitting down and your glutes aren't activated, so they would shorten out, and then when, say for example, that person who's on a 9-to-5 job at a desk, who shortens up his hip flexors and goes straight from work to the gym, and he starts doing squats without even having the proper muscle activation and necessary exercise or tools that I believe that everyone needs who does that kind of stuff, and going from there to straight to working out, doing heavy plates, heavy squats, and then going home later on and realizing, oh wow, you know, like I haven't really felt like a good leg workout in a long time. My joints are hurting more than I'm actually working the muscle. So knowing that aspect and kind of relating it to like the general public, and then having a way to fix that by yourself. So I showed this guy, back to my story, I showed this guy a basic stretch, which was an anterior distraction, so a distraction from the front of the band. The band is wrapped around your upper glute slash your hamstring muscle, which is high up top, right under your pelvis. So the band is attached there, pulling anteriorly, so the band is pulling me forward, and sitting down in a position where your knee is down, your right knee is down, and your left leg is up, and it's basically a stretch of the hip flexor with the distraction of the band pulling it out, which will create a little bit of area, a little bit of an insane amount of stretch in that joint, which would help you make room for your glute to open up. So I showed this guy this without getting too technical, and he like absolutely loved it. You know, he was He was telling about it to his wife. He told about it to his peers, the workout partners, and next thing you know, like, this gym is completely engorged in these mobility devices and techniques and bands. So anyway, my point being, like, I see this channel like being a source of information for people without any charge, without any kind of need of giving us any kind of shout outs or anything. Just free information from the collaborative minds of me, Sal, and David, and just watching people reap the benefits of everything that we had to learn the hard way, I would say. So anyways, let's see here. I kind of want something, I kind of want this channel to have people on a different fields, and having them kind of see, having them tell them about. So for example, I want to have people from yoga, an expert in yoga, to interview with us and tell us how beneficial they think yoga is to daily activities. And I want somebody who's really into meditation and coming on the channel is telling us briefly about like all the benefits they've reaped from it also. And then people from CrossFit, people from bodybuilding, just people from experts in their field telling us like what the benefits they had were. So anyways, kind of want to have a segment of that. I want to have a segment of watching somebody who's never done mobility before, or watching and kind of having them on the channel and having an episode on them for one day, and then telling them to do some stuff at home as homework or before they work out, and then watching them come back a week later, 2 weeks later. So for example, if we meet, say, Jessica or Nancy at the gym, and we see her struggling with squats, we ask her if she wants help and wants to be featured on our channel, to kind of see her progression on how she feels, how everything works, how her daily activities are, if she's in pain, if she used to be in pain, if she's not in pain anymore. So kind of like a test and retest of a sort. So I want to have that on our channel. I want to have something we do once a week, once a month, to get ourselves out of our comfort zones. This is kind of an idea I came up with. So we could have like David, for example, if he's not feeling up to it that day, you know, coming up with an idea with me and Sal, or me and somebody else, and having Dave push himself out of his comfort zone. So this could be going up to like a random girl and just asking her, see if you could ask her out, or doing like 500 sit-ups, you know, at a certain amount of time, or doing something to push yourself further and getting out of the limitations you have already perceived in your mind. I think that would be something really cool as you guys watching us kind of evolve as even people. So I want to look back at this video I'm doing right now and see like how stupid I looked, or how much better I could have done, or how many times I said or any of the above things. So this whole channel is like an evolution for me as well. So I want to look back and to see how much I've changed. So I'm doing this for everybody else, and I'm doing it for myself. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this video is probably not my best work. I'm doing it on the first try. I've put it off far enough, and I just hope to improve everything. We have a lot of information, a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of ideas, and we just want to just have a source just to give it out. I mean, just have like an output. I mean, I want to take advantage of this internet and the stuff and YouTube and stuff we have just to reach so many more people. And I hope to do this through this channel. So I mean, hope you guys like this video. I mean, if you can, subscribe, share awesome posts. We're always like looking for inspirational stuff. So if you guys need if anybody's having any kind of has any ideas just to help us out, I mean, let us know. And it's a wrap.